Best scene, the dance of the Desert Mermaids. Fade in. Exterior desert night. The desert glows with the light of a million brittle stars, rolling dunes and cacti and lazy wind and nothing more for miles and miles. Footsteps crunch over the sand. A soft, sighing sound that has been floating over the sand ceases. Exterior desert continuous. A man, the traveler, 60, who looks like he feels numb and limp and who has been following the sound, stumbles and sinks dazed into the sand. The traveler opens his rucksack, removes a metal canteen, and reclines to watch the inky sky's diamond charts and playthings. Exterior desert sky continuous. The moon rises. Exterior desert continuous. The traveler watches the moon rise, then he sits up and drinks from the canteen, rinsing the day's dust from his mouth. He spits in an arc toward the bottom of the dune. Exterior desert, bottom of the dune, continuous. A rumbling, a sweet melody, and there she is, the magnificent queen of the Desert Mermaids, rising out of the damp spot like a rainbow arcing into the sky. She shakes the sand from her hair. She sings a flute trill of melody that floats across the sand and echoes faintly off other dunes. Exterior desert, other dunes, continuous. Dozens of other mermaids rise up out of the desert and swim through the sand toward the queen. Exterior bottom of the dune, continuous. The desert mermaids all gather together. They send radiant, mischievous looks toward the traveler. The mermaids start to frolic by diving in and out of the sand. They backstroke, do handstands. Some toss a delicate shining orb back and forth, squealing with delight. Exterior desert continuous. Sand the color of night sea foam splashes across the traveler. He walks slowly down the dune, pulled by their beauty, by the sound of their laughter. Exterior desert, bottom of the dune, continuous. Long flowing hair and secret fins, the gathering of the desert mermaids goes into full swing. Slithering luminous beauties laugh and comb shells out of their hair in the shimmering dark. It is a night full of stars and whispered sea breezes. Exterior bottom of dune, continuous. A shell-crusted but milky, smooth-looking hand reaches for the travelers. It is the queen mermaid, with her rainwater hair and kelp for a crown, garments of amber seahorses and sunken treasure jewels. The queen mermaid pulls the traveler into the circle of mermaids, and he stands among them like a maypole. They circle him and sing, their thin, silver voices mixing with the wind like sea shanties and clanging buoys. Montage. The mermaids dance around the traveler, the rhythm of tides, of mariners, of shining coral seas and rich foamy oceans. Polished shell skirts over fins clink in time with the starlight. The traveler sees the 1,000 broken dreams of his life, and each dream by itself is a sad, cracked thing. The traveler sees each broken dream repaired and knit together by the light of the mermaids. Then the dreams are no longer broken, and the traveler is no longer broken, which produces a brightness inside him that looks like a spun gold tornado. All night the desert mermaids dance the sea dance over the jeweled sand and white, pale dunes. They dance and sing until morning. End montage. Exterior desert, early morning. The desert mermaids swim away through the sand one by one, their tuneful goodbyes echoing in the ashy dark. Their eyes reflect the last wan flicker of the moon. Exterior desert sky continuous. The moon moves away with regret, and the wind goes to sleep in the clouds. Exterior desert continuous. Only the queen mermaid, with amber seahorses and jeweled treasure for clothes, stands before the traveler. She holds a long necklace made of tiny pearl shells from which hangs a glistening conch. Through gestures and a graceful pantomime, she makes the traveler understand that he is to wait there and put it on only when the sun's first rays rise above the horizon. She laughs, a shrill, happy peal that falls out of her mouth and drops onto the sand. She raises her pale arms with grace and steps backwards into the spot where her laughter just landed, and she falls into the ocean of the desert. The traveler steps over to where she fell. The ground is solid, rock-like, with a cactus as guard. She's gone. Exterior desert, pre-dawn. The cold pre-dawn light floats over the sand like mist. The traveler stands still and waits. He traces in his mind the dance through the night. Exterior desert, continuous. Gradually the mist lightens until the sky is the color of pearl. The traveler stares out through the elegant gray-white light at the rolling sand and the hundreds of spiky cacti dotting the dunes. Exterior desert, sky, dawn. The sun begins her laborious climb over the horizon, rising pinkish and sleepy. Tendrils of sunlight waver on the edge of the earth and creep out over the arid worlds. Exterior desert, continuous. The traveler blinks into the sun's first tentative rays. He clutches at the necklace, then jerks it on over his head. For a moment, the desert shines with the brilliance of a billion tiny white shells. Exterior desert, sky, continuous. The sun lifts herself above the horizon and prepares to shine down for another long day. Exterior desert, continuous. Where the traveler had been, a tall cactus now stands, and the alluring, sweet, sighing song of the desert mermaids, mixed with laughter, floats out over the desert once more. Fade out.